Hi there, this is Jen, and thanks for joining me on this beautiful day. Today I am creating 15 cards with 6x6 sheets of pattern paper as a part of Kendra's card challenge. This is challenge number 12 for Kendra's card challenge, and I'm going to be using Pink and Main products for my paper. So the Pink and Main 6x6 paper pad is really, really beautiful. I'm also going to be using the Ephemera pack that matches up with this paper. They are both called Cozy Critters. And on the back of this paper pad, it tells you that it coordinates with that, which is super cool. I don't think I've seen that before. So it's a really cute set, and I can't wait to show you my cards. So if you're not familiar with Kendra's card challenge, she creates 15 sketches. She also gives you the cut files. So the cut files are basically A through F. And by cut files, I mean the files or the sheets that you need to know what dimensions to cut each 6x6 sheet of paper. And I thought I'd challenge myself this month with making shaker cards. And so every card that I make today, except for one, is going to be a shaker card. And so I'm going to show a little bit of that. That's why this video is a little bit longer than I like, but there are quite a few shakers in here. I don't go through every one of them, but I'm going to start the video how I always start these videos, and that's just dry fitting all of my pieces together. I've got the sketch down in the left hand corner. I'm doing mine a little bit opposite of the sketch, and that's totally fine. As you'll notice as well, I'm using a piece of pattern paper as my main mat, and anything that is not a colored piece of the cut file, you can use whatever paper you want, whether that's a solid color, whether that or a solid piece of cardstock, or whether that is a piece of pattern paper. And so I chose to use pattern paper. And I'm going to be using also some products from this calls for Confetti. They're these really cool kind of like shaker domes, I guess. I've got the circle and the square that I'm going to be using today. But if you go ahead and check out this calls for Confetti, she's got a ton of awesome blingy fabulous confetti mixes. If you're looking for the perfect mix, I'm sure she's probably got it, but she's also got a lot of different shaker pouches, an all over shaker, so it just takes really a lot of the time and effort out of making shaker cards, and it makes it super easy. So that's going to finish off card number 1. So for card number 2, I'm going to go ahead and sort of follow the sketch. You'll notice throughout the video I don't always get my measurements exactly correct, and I just work with it however it needs to make it work, and so that's what I'm doing. So for the first card, I used that little piece that made it really easy to make that shaker. For this one, I'm going to do the tried and true method of a shaker card, which is using leftover plastic packaging. So I keep pretty much all of my plastic packaging because it can't just be used for shaker cards. I use it to mix colors on sometimes, to do ink smushing. It's just a really fabulous way to recycle that packaging and use it and not just throw it in the trash. And so I went ahead and I cut that piece of plastic down to size for the heart that I cut out of this piece of ephemera. And then for all of the shaker borders or strips, I guess you could say, I am using 1/8 inch foam strips, and these are from scrapbook.com. I love them because they're very inexpensive for the amount that you get, and they're great for doing those small areas if you're doing a smaller like shaker piece like a lot of these that I'm doing today. But here is card number 2. I love the ephemera in this pack too. It is just so pretty, and it's got a really nice fall theme. But while I make these cards, I don't want to start that yet because this is one of the cards that I struggled with, and I saw the comments on the Facebook group. Some other people struggled with it as well, and I finally figured it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm taking the circles, and if you look at the sketch, the top set of circles is over on the left-hand side. So I am going to go ahead and adhere all of the circles towards the left-hand side. And what I mean by that is the corner, I'm just trying to match it up to the corner on the left-hand side. And so on the bottom, that's going to reverse, and you're going to take your circles and adhere them on the right-hand side. So you're going to push everything over to the right. and so that's how these are going to be adhered. And for the top and the bottom, it doesn't have to be matched up perfectly just because you're putting a strip over the top. It's kind of hide that. And then for the shaker on this, I made a really small piece of one of the half circles that is going to be adhered, and I used a tiny little heart die. And for the window on this, I used a piece of plastic packaging, and I just tried to use some smaller pieces of sequin mix because this is not going to move around a whole lot. I also use the same type of foam. So to put this together, it's really easy. You're just going to match up your top with the bottom, and then that strip is going to go over the top to kind of hide that seam, and that's going to finish off card number 3. I think this is one of my favorites. It's a really, really pretty design. And so for this next card, I am using one of the pouches from This Calls for Confetti. That is the square. And for this set, I bought the dies that go with it. So she has things in This Calls for Confetti where it's called a starter pack, and you can get the little window or the little shaker portion with dies that go with it. But most of us have circle and square dies. I just didn't have any squares, and so that's why I bought the starter kit, which comes with 2 different size dies to help you go ahead and create that frame. But as I go through the video, I wanted to talk a little bit about Kendra's Card Challenge in case you're not familiar with it. It basically is a quarterly challenge. So we are in the 4th quarter. We are closing out the year with challenge number 12. And then in January, we will start another challenge. And that goes January, February, March. So basically every quarter, which is every 3 months, there is a new set of card sketches. And so there are lots of wonderful sponsors for Kendra's Card Challenge that help with all of the prizes that are given away. And one of those sponsors is Pink and Main, which is why I chose to go ahead and use the paper and the ephemera from Pink and Main. And I absolutely love it. I love it. I wanted to do a fall theme, and so that is the reason I chose this set. This Calls for Confetti is also a sponsor of Kendra's Card Challenge, and so I was super happy to use some of their products that I already had in my stash, and so that is what I'm doing with that. But again, Kendra's Card Challenge, she has giveaways every month, and to enter the giveaway, all you have to do is be a member of the challenge Facebook group. You post your pictures in the albums, and that is basically your entry into the challenge. The giveaways are totally random, and there are lots of awesome prizes. If you go to the Facebook group, sometimes people will post what they've won, and it's always fabulous prizes from the sponsors. So I encourage you to, if you haven't already, go ahead and check that out. And also, Kendra does have a Patreon. Kendra creates these challenges and the sketches and everything every quarter, and it is a really big undertaking, not just creating the products to use, but she also has some freebies, some digital freebies for her Patreon members, as well as some other benefits. So I encourage you to go ahead and check that out as well. This one is an all-over shaker, and this is one of the easiest shaker cards I probably ever made. I just took a piece of probably 4x6 stamp packaging. I slipped my card panel in there, filled it up with shaker mix, and just taped it on the back. I didn't really do much of cutting. Of course, to make it cleaner, you can go ahead and do the mitered corners, I guess, and fold everything over real nicely. But I'm just gonna slap it on a card base, so it's not going to be seen, but it's super easy, and just using stuff that you probably already have, and so it was really easy to go ahead and create that. I wanted to let you know also that I am going to be giving all of these cards away to one person. So if you're interested in receiving these cards, I will leave a form below that you can just fill out just your name and your email so I can contact you and get an address. And that will be a random draw, and I will go ahead and give that away or do the drawing the first Friday in November. So I encourage you to go ahead, if you want these cards, to go ahead and enter that giveaway. And keep in mind when you're entering the giveaway, these are not full complete cards. So when I make cards, I only make the panels. I don't actually attach them to a card base because it is a lot easier to store them and keep more cards in one place rather than adding that card base and adding that little bit of bulk. So I don't usually, unless I'm making Christmas cards, add the card bases until I'm actually going to send them out. So these will just be the panels. So you will have to add these to whatever card base you want to add them to. So just so you know, they're all panels and that's how they will come to you. But I would love it if you would like these cards to go ahead and give away. Would love to give these away to somebody. So there is that link that will be in the description below. And I don't make a lot of shaker cards generally on my channel, so that's why I thought this would be a great idea to make pretty much every card except for this one, a shaker. I had an idea for this and I was gonna do an all over shaker, but since I've already done one, I didn't want to do another, and so it just ended up just as a regular card with no shake to it, which is fine. But as I was saying, I don't make that many shaker cards, and so I thought this was really fun, and it was actually pretty easy because of these little supplies that kind of helped me to make them, and then even without the little shaker pouches, it was really easy to go ahead and make these. I didn't do anything too complicated, just making shakers out of shapes and things like that. And so it was really a really fun challenge for me. Some of the confetti mixes are from this Calls for Confetti. That last one you saw in the previous card was called Autumn Buzz. And I know that she has that one in stock, but the others that I use, I am not sure if they are. For this card, you can't see anything shaking, and it's because I used glitter, which ended up kind of coming out of the shaker piece after I had adhered everything. And so I just ended up not really, I didn't want to tear the card apart, so it looks like a window pretty much. This one right here is one of my favorite cards. I think it's just really simple. I love the little bunny piece of ephemera, so you can see how small this little shaker piece is. I basically just added it to be part of the pumpkin on the card, but I love the colors. I love the little piece of ephemera. I just think it's really super cute. And then we are on card number 15 already. This one is one of my favorites as well because of the ephemera and the paper. Just really super cute. But I'm just making a little a shaker piece out of this square, and then I'm using several pieces of ephemera, and that's going to finish off my video for today. I hope you enjoyed. If you did like this video or find it informative, I would love a thumbs up. As always, I thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to spend with me, and I hope to see you next time.